What's going on, everybody? And today I'm going to talk a little bit about bodybuilding and longevity and a bunch of thoughts that I had about this topic that bodybuilding and how it relates to longevity. And if you follow people that are interested in longevity and that is their game, like David Sinclair and Bryan Jhonson from the Blueprint and people like that, these people, they play a completely different game other than bodybuilding, right? So they're not concerned about maximizing muscle mass, they're not concerned about hypertrophy training, they're not concerned about anything that is just looks. Some of them do resistance training and they do lift some weights, but they're not concerned about bodybuilding in the sense that accumulation of maximum muscle mass, whether natural or with anabolics or unnatural. So this is not the game that they're playing at all, right? And for a bunch of reasons. And the reasons are that many of the things in bodybuilding, they do conflict with longevity and maximizing life expectancy. And that's why you won't find people like Dr. David Sinclair or Bryan Jhonson doing bodybuilding in the sense that they're trying to eat or put themselves in what we call anabolic state to eat more calories than they need and then train hard in the ways of hypertrophy to try and put more mass on their body. Because eating more calories than you need would probably decrease your life expectancy. As a matter of fact, a lot of studies are showing now that eating less than the calories that you need would actually increase your life expectancy. So having a caloric restriction by, let's say, 30% a day would actually increase your life expectancy, and you can make that up, let's say, 1 day a week where you like overload the calories. A second thing, of course, is intermittent fasting, right? Which also has shown to increase longevity, and it stabilizes blood sugar levels and things like that. And I've talked about this, and I keep talking about this in so many different videos. So that's a completely different game than bodybuilders. And I think now that even like the most hardcore bodybuilders in today that we have know that probably what they're doing is not like gonna add years to their life. So even the professional bodybuilders and even people that are competing naturally, they probably know, most probably, this is not gonna like increase my life expectancy, and it will actually, in fact, probably decrease life expectancy by a bunch. You know, it depends on like what they're doing and how much stuff they're taking and their health metrics and all of these different things. It can get very complicated, measuring all these different health metrics and everything like that. So it's definitely a game that has so many aspects to it, but it's a completely different game. The game of bodybuilding is the game of basically like looks and maximizing muscle and maximizing muscle shape and muscle shape and look and things like that. And that not definitely does not equate to health and longevity as far as how many years you're gonna live on this planet. Okay, and that's why a lot of these longevity guys, they don't play this game. They don't play the game of bodybuilding. You don't see so many people doing that because they're interested in just maximizing the amount of time that they can stay here on this earth. David Sinclair, he's trying to live to like 150 years or whatever. I can guarantee that, no bodybuilder, especially no open class bodybuilder, is going to live to 100 years. As a matter of fact, I don't think any open class bodybuilder will even make it to 100. Okay, and for many reasons, I mentioned some of them before. I can get into even further details about health metrics in a different video. But with that being said, there's also another game, which is the game of cognitive function, right? So people that play that game, that's the brain game. Let's say it's people like Elon Musk, which is they're trying to maximize their cognitive function, right? Which is like how many words you can read every day. How many concepts can you memorize every day? How much information can you collect every day? The memory capacity, and using methods like, memory palaces and things like that. That's a whole different game, which is basically the game of intelligence and brain power. And there are people that basically try to optimize for that game as well. So there are a lot of people that are interested in playing the brain game. You'll find a lot of these people on X, previously Twitter. You won't find many of them on Instagram, for example. That's why people that are not on people that are on Instagram and they're not on X or other platforms like that, where a lot of the tech people, a lot of the brain people are on, you won't understand that. So a lot of the people that are interested in the brain game and their brain's performance, because that's the field that they're in and that's what their livelihood depends on, and they want to solve brain problems. A lot of them also are not interested in bodybuilding in the mainstream or like in the normal sense, and there are reasons for that as well. And many of these reasons would be very similar in some instances to the reasons that I've mentioned as far as the health and longevity game, but it's just different reasons. For example, to optimize cognitive function, sometimes you have to eat in a specific way. Some people would like to eat in, let's say, a ketogenic manner. Some people would, eat in a maintenance or in a caloric deficit even. And they feel like this puts their brain in the best way possible. Some people like to avoid carbs for brain function, and definitely carbs do not help with maximizing brain function along the day. So definitely, if you eat a lot of carbs, first of all, anybody that eats a whole bunch of carbs, they know, you get the carb coma. That slows your brain down by a lot. Now imagine a bodybuilder that eats 5-7 times a day. How much lethargy, brain slow down with that introduce into his day. So eating a lot of carbohydrates, even eating a lot of calories in the first place. Eating a lot of calories would also not put you in the most optimal brain state. I mean, for me, when I used to study a lot and did a lot of studying, did a lot of things like that, I wasn't eating a lot of food, especially in the first part of the day where I was doing most of my studying. So when I was doing most of my studying, I was like eating some protein and snacking a little bit on things like walnuts and peanuts and things like that, maybe some vegetables. But I would like cram all my carbohydrates like in 5 hours before I go to sleep. Because usually at the end of the day, that's where my brain slows down. I get closer to sleep time. And that's where I eat the carbohydrates, and they're going to slow me down anyways and prepare me for sleep. But when I need optimal brain performance, since I wake up until like, 5 or 4 p.m., I'm not eating any carbohydrates. As a matter of fact, I used to fast until noon, so until 12, and then maybe start just, getting my protein in, some caffeine, getting all my snacks, and all maybe other vegetables, and no carbohydrates. And the carbohydrates would maybe start at 4 p.m. and I would cram all my carbohydrates in that period. Now, can a bodybuilder afford to do that? And can he eat all these calories in such a limited amount of time? And can he mix those things? Can he mix bodybuilding with cognitive function? Can this actually be done? I think it's very difficult. I personally haven't seen any professional bodybuilder that was able to do that competes professionally and eats in the manner that bodybuilders eat, and that does things in the manner that bodybuilders basically do. So that's one thing really to keep in mind. So the cognitive function, the brain game, that's a completely different game that a lot of people also like to play in life, and they're very concerned about their brain's performance. They're not concerned about how their body looks. They want to maximize their brain function. They're programmers, they're entrepreneurs in the tech field, they are maybe in the field of biology, scientists, researchers, people that want to optimize for brain function. This has been years. Just like I started bodybuilding, and people like us in the fitness industry and bodybuilding, we started, maybe some of us very early on in bodybuilding, and we picked it up as teenagers, and it's something that has been with us our whole lives. A lot of these people also, they have picked up the brain game, and it has been with them their whole life. So like they are the sort of kids that used to be like brain worms, and they would get into enter memory competitions and use memory palaces and things like that, and enter like the mathematics competitions and stuff like that. So it's a completely different game. The brain game is a completely different game. Now, once you start doing bodybuilding, definitely your brain gets affected for a lot of the reasons that I mentioned. Eating too much affects your brain function, introduces more lethargy and more wasted time in your day. Eating a lot of carbohydrates gives you a lot of lethargy and introduces a lot of wasted time in your day. All these different things that I've mentioned can have the same effect on cognitive function. So you have all these different games in life, and one of the goals that I've been aiming at is to cross all these different things and to basically put them together in one system that can maximize all of them at the same time, right? Of course, there are going to be compromises, but this is one of the things that I have been aiming to do. You can also allocate percentages, which is something that I thought about a lot, which is you can say I want to allocate 60% of my energy to cognitive function and then split the rest between, let's say, bodybuilding and between health and longevity, or vice, whatever everybody's percentages will be, depends on where they're at in their life. Some people want to dedicate a bunch of time to their body, build a great body, then focus on cognitive function after that. And this is basically a way that a lot of people can do it. I like to be smart, man. I mean, I like to read a lot of books. I like to keep up with all the latest information in the technical fields, like in computer science, in artificial intelligence. Like I literally go into mathematics and read a lot of the AI papers and stuff like that. I try to find like what are the latest algorithms and things like that. So this is something that I love. I like to do, and doing like living the traditional bodybuilder lifestyle can be a hindrance if you're aiming for that. And I've implemented a whole new protocol so I can basically mix these things without having to compromise too much on my bodybuilding and on my physique, but at the same time maintain the highest cognitive function that I can maintain. So with that being said, I hope everybody benefited from this video. Stay smart, stay fit, live a long time, and always strive to achieve the perfect version of yourself. Check out some of the blogs on the website. Get the book, The 5 Layers of Bodybuilding, which has the most comprehensive information you'll ever find on bodybuilding for anybody that is trying to plan their fitness journey and plan their physique. Check out the blogs on the website. So much valuable information, and I'll see you in the next video.